Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and I am passionate about helping scholarly mamas like you navigate your journeys with purpose so you can achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters. The reality is that scholarly mama life is multidimensional. We're scholars, yes, but we're also mothers, wives, and so much more, with whole lives outside of academia. So how do we successfully navigate all this? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Only then can we begin the important work of becoming purposefully whole. And part of my own purposeful work is to create a space for us as scholarly mamas to grow, to reflect, and to become everything that we were meant to be. So, mama, are you in? Fabulous. Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Hey mamas, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Our guest today is Meliss K Lowe, and Meliss is the creator, the amazing creator of the Wellthy Mama self-love journal and the Wellthy Mama movement, which I absolutely love. I am so thrilled to have you here, Meliss. I know we've talked about this like forever and a day. And so to have you here on the show sharing your remarkable story and journey is such a treat for me. And I know also for my wonderful audience of Mama Scholars. I am so excited for this episode. And in this episode, I know we're going to focus a lot on self-love, which is one of my favorite topics, because for me, the truth is that when you are a busy mama wearing all the hats and doing all the things, to be honest, the first thing to go off that priority list is us. We go first, right? Until, of course, we experience some kind of personal awakening that makes us realize that we need to make some changes. Now, I know that you're not specifically navigating the academic world as a mama, or even consider yourself a scholarly mama as we refer to ourselves around here. But anyone who's listening to this, who is navigating that journey of PhD motherhood, will relate to all those feelings of perfectionism and overwork and burnout. And those are the things that often lead us to that personal awakening. And that's when we realize that that lifestyle, that is not sustainable in the long term. And so speaking of personal awakenings, I know that your self-love journey began with a breast cancer diagnosis and burnout, right? Corporate burnout. So can you walk us through the moment when you realized that a significant change was needed in your life, and how did that pivotal moment shape your decision to prioritize self-care and well-being, especially as a wife and mama of two?
Well, I guess I'm a bit hard-headed when it comes to needing awakenings, because I apparently needed a couple. I was like, oh no, one will not do for you, ma'am. Yeah. So the first awakening that I had was I got passed up for a promotion at my job. And it was the position that I wanted so deeply. I was working 60, 70-hour weeks for it. And I felt like I was already doing the position. Like I was already living it, breathing it. And I didn't get it. And I was just like, what am I doing with my life? Like I poured all of this time away from my family, away from all the people and things that I care about, into this goal. And I have nothing to show for it. So I ended up leaving that job for no job, no plan. I just resigned and I started to find myself. And it's so interesting. Looking back, the signs were there that it wasn't the right place for me, but I needed that thing to happen, it feels like, for me to even evaluate and question things. I wasn't happy. I was gossiping at work. I was disgruntled. I was just like, I was carrying around so much negative energy. So I left, and a month or so later, I was in the shower and I found a lump under my arm. And that led me to wake up call number 2, my breast cancer diagnosis. And breast cancer runs in my family, but I still was not prepared for it. I don't think you can be. Just fun fact. No matter if it runs in your family, you can never be prepared for hearing you yourself have cancer. So it just forced me to, again, look at my life honestly. What am I doing? What am I doing with the time I have? And now I probably don't even have much time left. So it just made me question everything. And I realized I had so much regret. There were so many things I wanted to do. There was so much fear that I had of what other people were going to think of me if I tried to do any of the things, or some things I couldn't even say out loud, right? And I was just dreaming and living too small. So, once I kind of, with reckless abandon and lots of anger, gave it all to God and was like, listen, if you let me live, I am going to do better. I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. I'm going to stop living small. So that was really the first time in my life that I just surrendered and started to live life for me and not everyone else.
That is so deep, Melissa. I feel like I felt it for you. Like I felt that moment, that awakening, that realization that, it was almost like you were going through life on autopilot, chasing things that perhaps weren't even necessarily your own goals, really. It was kind of chasing this dream that in the end didn't even materialize. And I just wonder, looking back on that now, like you mentioned that you had this moment of like so much regret, but what did it feel like to look back at what wasn't, necessarily wasn't a distant past. It was a quite recent past for you with this diagnosis, with all of this going on, and thinking, how on earth did I let it get to this point?
Yeah, I think once looking back, I realized that it was a lot of small decisions that led me there. It wasn't one major thing that said, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to go for this. It was a lot of tiny decisions that I made without being intentional that led me to that spot. Who doesn't want a promotion? Who doesn't say yes to more money? Who doesn't say yes to a better title? Like, that's just what we're supposed to do. So you don't realize how living by society's standards, just a little bit every day, can get you to a place where you don't even recognize yourself and you're not living a life you actually care about or excited about. It feels very lonely. And even if you're getting accolades, like I was being promoted, I was moving up the ranks, it didn't fulfill me at all. So like it's a lesson. It's absolutely a lesson. And I try to remember those moments if I ever feel myself getting back to a place, because it's an intentional decision you have to make every day to even be intentional, right?
Yeah.
So if you find yourself slowly moving down that path again, I try to remember that girl. I say, I never want to be her. I never want to be her again. She does not get to live on this earth anymore. So yes, I have learned my lesson and I don't want to get back there. So I will pull myself up very quickly if I find myself going down that path.
I love how you say it's even in both sides of the coin, it's the little decisions, because in one direction, it's the little decisions taking you further and further away from what matters and who you are and what you want to achieve in life. And then on the other hand, even to be intentional requires little small baby decisions to just choose yourself. And as mamas, when you're wearing so many hats and you're there's so many things going on. It's so hard sometimes to pay attention to those little micro decisions that are shaping our futures in our lives. And so speaking of intentionality and being intentional about self-care, I know that, because we've talked about this before, I know that essentialism played a crucial role in your transformation. How did embracing essentialism and incorporating self-care practices contribute to your recovery and also subsequent creation of the Wellthy Mama brand?
I think that essentialism was something I was searching for that I didn't know existed.
Yes.
So it was when I finally came upon it. And so I started, I think, with minimalism.
Yeah.
It was just a yearning for less stuff. Like, I just want to keep my house clean, Jesus. Like, we need to get rid of all the things that do not need to be here. So that's kind of where it started. And then I realized, oh, wow, I love how my house feels. I love when I walk into this space, I just feel lighter. It welcomes me. It really creates a safe space for me. And I started to look at that in other areas of my life, in the digital space, my inbox and my photos, like all of those things. But I wanted something deeper. It wasn't just about stuff.
Yeah.
And I stumbled on this book, Essentialism, which is why reading is so important.
So important.
There's someone out there writing to you that has the solutions to answers the questions that you have, that you just need to get that right book, that right match.
Yeah.
And I read just the first chapter, and this is written by a man, Greg McKeown. And I was like, how does this man know? This is what I need. Like, how long is this book? I literally went to see, like, how long has this book been out? I've been struggling. And are you telling me that this has been here the whole time? So essentialism is all about living. It's a disciplined pursuit of less but better.
Yeah. And
it's all this premise. The premise behind it is that we don't have to have it all. We really don't want it all, right? But we're still trying our best to live a life of so much and trying to please so many people, so many external forces, other than just figuring out how can I be my highest and best self in the world.
Yeah.
And essentialism helps you prune out all of the things that aren't going to help you do that. They get in your way, they get you distracted, so you can just focus on being the best you and creating value and goodness in the world. And it is all about prioritization and decision making as well, which I am very fond of.
I can tell. Honestly, like that book, just exactly what you said there. Like, where has this book been all my life? When I read that book last year. When I read that book, I literally thought, oh my goodness, this man is in my head. Like, he is speaking to me. Like, I resonated with every single word in the book. And his other book, Effortless, is just as good. And it's like, this is, like you said, the importance of reading and expanding the mind. At Scholarly Mamas, we do a lot of reading, but it's about reading things that can enhance our lives in other ways, not just reading academic papers, not just reading for the PhD, but reading to broaden our minds. And literally, that has been, even that thinking of reading more has been the most amazing journey for me, because it's opened my mind so much. And this is why I want to encourage any mamas listening to this podcast. Get yourself a little reading list for 2024, because it will literally change your life.
Hard for me sometimes to get a book. And when I get recommended a book from someone that I value, it's so much better. It's like, okay, I might actually read this one, as opposed to, going out and having to search for it. It's like a hairdresser. I'd much rather
there's millions of books out there. And like you said, getting that recommendation, especially if you know that, you know, it's going to enhance your life in a way that it's done for somebody that you know and trust, well then, yeah, like, of course you want to get your hands on that book. And Essentialism is one of those books for me. Like, that is a book that has absolutely revolutionized my thinking, and I would recommend that without hesitation, 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so talking about transitioning then to this notion of intentional living, I know walking away from unfulfilling work and committing to intentional living is a significant step. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. So how has this transition impacted your daily life, especially as a mama? And what advice would you give to scholarly mamas seeking to make more intentional choices amidst the demands of academia and motherhood?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think for me, it showed me that I can be brave, which is something that you're going to need when you're trying to build a life that feels very much like you.
Yeah.
You need to be reminded of your strength and your courage. And I think every time I chose myself, it was easier the next time. So I do want to encourage moms to start with a small no.
Yeah.
You can build yourself up to a big one. But, you know, I love tiny, ridiculous actions. Yeah. They are my favorite things in the world. And I think it applies to every area of your life. So start with something small. And that's the thing, right? Like, I have always been pretty decent at saying no to certain things.
Yeah.
But I never would have thought that I would have been ready to walk away from a career, like a 6-figure salary. Who does that? Like, my mom literally was like, "What did you say you did?" Like, what? That's crazy. But when you practice, and I say this to my kids all the time, what you practice in your home, what you practice regularly, is what you will do when you're faced with something big.
So true.
You don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So I say practice something small. Practice something small, the small, tiny no's. 15 minutes of reading, something from the Scholarly Mama Book Club list. You know, like, those little moments, those little actions of choosing yourself really do add up, and they build your confidence. They build your trust in yourself. They build your intuition. And when the big things come, you're going to be much more prepared to say no. So I think that was the biggest lesson for me, is that I am stronger than I think I am.
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of those, what people may have thought were wild decisions. They were the best things I ever did. And life on the other side, even though you don't know this when you're going through it and you're like, what did I just do? How am I going to find a job? Will anyone hire me? It's so much better on this side. And I'm so glad. I wake up every day. No lie. I wake up every day and I'm like, thank you, God, for another day. And I'm excited about life because I get to do the thing that I really love doing, which is connecting with amazing women on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me. And I used to think that I wanted to make X amount of money so I could have this freedom to do nothing. You know, yeah. We always think that that's what we want to do. We want to sit on a beach, and I live on an island. Okay. So I want to sit on a beach with a pina colada while someone just brings us food. And, you know, like, that's what we think we want to do. But I ask you to question, what is it you really want? Like, what's really going to make you happy? And is it finding the thing that's going to fill you up? For me, that's exactly what it was. And I didn't know what this thing would be. I didn't know it would be coaching, but I'm so glad I found it. And it has changed my life so radically that I'm not necessarily even concerned about the salary that I lost.
Yeah. So good.
I'm happy. I'm so happy on the inside. And that's what matters the most.
So good. In fact, I've actually been really intentional about changing even how I think about walking away from things. So I used to think about it as, you've quit something or whatever, but now I see it as like a choice experience or a decision for myself. Like I have been brave enough to say, no, that's not for me. This is what I want to do with my life. And I absolutely love that way of thinking, because it just frees you from all these expectations, because we carry around so many expectations. We don't even realize that we're doing it until we're, forced to stop and reevaluate and think, actually, well, what do I want? I don't even know what I want. Like, what do I really want?
That comes a lot of the times on our deathbeds.
Yeah. And we don't want that. If we can prevent that, why shouldn't we?
Let's be proactive. Yes.
So the creation of the Wellthy Mama brand and self-love journal emerged from your own choice experiences and transformational experiences. Can you share how your mission evolved and what specific practices or tools from your journal do you believe are the most impactful for women?
Oh man, evolved is a really great word there, because it definitely didn't, where it is today is not where we started. I think that I focus very much on self-care. And, just to even make fun of myself for a little bit here, I changed my title of what kind of coach I was. Like, I swear it was like every month. Every month I was a different kind of coach. And because it was so hard to name what it is, right? And I'm still trying to find that right thing, but I'm trying not to focus on that too much anymore. And so I started with self-care, and I'm still in that space. But what I realized in talking to women and talking and listening to working mothers, they kept saying to me, I do not have the time for self-care. I don't know what self-care you speak of, ma'am. People, it's a luxury. It's a luxury.
Please speak my language.
So I realized that I had to incorporate time management practices. And to be honest, I didn't connect the dots between my skill set. So I'm a project management professional. I'm a data analyst. Like, I love organization of numbers and data and all of that stuff. I didn't make that connection at first. I just thought, oh, well, God made me a data analyst and now he's cutting that off and I'm going to do this coaching.
Yeah.
So but I've been able to merge the two worlds and really apply the analysis, the scheduling, the organization to help moms get to self-care. And that's been a fantastic revelation for me, because it reminds me that God is intentional too, even if I can't see it. So yeah, so that's kind of how we got to time management. But the other precursor to all of this is, in talking to women, I realized too, there are just basic questions we cannot answer about ourselves. What's your favorite color? What do you like to do in your free time? What are you good at? What motivates you? So I could not answer those questions. And when my 6-year-old daughter at the time was asking me these questions, I was straight up lying to her. So I would have an answer. So I didn't look like someone who didn't know, because at 6, she knew clearly what her favorite color was. It's pink. It's pink all day, every day. And I wasn't sure. And I felt really bad about that. And I said, okay, I got to do something about this. So my journal is made for the busy working mom, or just the busy woman in general, who has lost herself in some way and wants to rekindle who she is. And, I don't like boring things. So I didn't always love the traditional journals that just had like a question and then there was like a lot of free writing. I was like, oh, this is too much pressure. It's too much
thinking.
Yes. I'm like, I have a couple of minutes. So So what I did is I found listed journaling and I really loved it. I love making lists. I make to-do lists and grocery shopping lists, and like I'm good at lists. So I wanted to bring that approach, and I felt like other working moms and other women would relate to the idea of list making to journaling. So it asked you those major questions, like what motivates you, things that make you cry, what's your favorite music, like what like drives you. And you have to name your top 10 things. And it's okay. I want to make this disclaimer. It is okay if you don't have 10, because that's usually the first thing that people tell me. Like, I tried to journal. Like the first prompt is all about like pruning your tribe. And it's like, list 10 people that you can be yourself with. I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me and been like, I don't have 10. What do I do? Like, just write the number that you have, right? The number that you have, and that's okay. It's more about the quality relationships. Now, if it's 3 and those 3 are quality people and you can be yourself and that's enough for you, then that's wonderful. You keep nurturing that 3. But if you wrote 10 and you realize, ooh, not all of these are great, then that's what I want. I want you to just have the conversation to question what it is that you wrote. When you start seeing the list of names, you start saying, well, wait a minute, Keisha is not like Michelle. it's not the same. They shouldn't be on the same list, right? Those are the kinds of things that you want to do. And then you have a page for just noticing any thoughts, reflections, observations that you have once you've made your list. So that should take you, really and truly, it takes you about like 5 to 7 minutes to do a journaling prompt in my journal. And that's what I wanted. I wanted women to be able to utilize that small amount of time to do something that feels fun and to be left with a book that's all about you at the end.
Honestly, I think that your journal you're underselling this journal. This journal it's a book, it's a reflection space, it's a source of inspiration. It's so well crafted and written and put together. Melissa, honestly, it is a masterpiece.
Oh my God.
And I really hope that busy mamas, busy women who really just need to make that space and time for themselves can have a companion like this to take them through those prompts, to help them to reflect. Because I feel like one of the things that we talked about at the very beginning was that a lot of times we're on autopilot. We're not even pausing to think. We don't even know what our favorite colors are. We don't even know, like, we are so deep in what I call the throes of the juggle struggle that we have lost ourselves. We've lost ourselves. And to have something that just preserves a little bit of time for us to get to know ourselves, for us to get to love ourselves again, I think is the most amazing gift. And that's what your journal is. It's a gift to every person who receives one.
Thank you for saying that. I promise you, I did not pay her to say that. No, it means so much coming from you because I know how high your standards are for what you spend your time on. So
yeah. And it just resonates. You know, it resonates with me. Every single thing in that journal resonates with me. And I really think it's time that women and mamas spent some time caring for ourselves, loving ourselves, because especially when you're in the throes of the PhD motherhood juggle, I'm telling you, that is a beast.
Yeah.
And we need to wake up. We really do need to wake up.
Yeah.
On that topic of knowing and loving yourself, you highlight the challenge of not knowing oneself and building lives on a foundation of perfection and imposter syndrome and people pleasing and all these things. So can you share with us how your self-love journey helped you to address these specific challenges and how these tools that were within your journal can empower busy mamas to build more fulfilling and authentic lives?
Yes. I think that just the fact that the journal is out in the world and not just a document on Google Drive. It's a testament to working on yourself. Because I am not a writer. Like I said, I'm a data analyst. I've always been a numbers girl. And the entire time, the 12 months it took me to write this journal, it's 30 pages I wrote, right? So I want to break it down for you. It's 30 pages, which should not take a lot of time to write. But it took me a year to write it because I was literally battling with myself and saying, well, why would anyone want to read this? Why would anyone? So I don't want to come on here and act as though I don't still have doubts, that I don't still struggle with confidence. It is a regular practice, right? And those thoughts are going to come into our mind sometimes, but it's what we do next that I think self-love really helps us battle, right? And push through. I tell my kids all the time, we are a do it scared family. Don't just tell me.
I love that.
I understand. I'm here with you. I'm nervous. You're nervous. We're scared, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to push through. So I think that in order to do that, you have to know who you are and what you want, because that's the thing. It's like what you value. You can't figure that out if you don't know who you are without what people are looking at and thinking about how people are going to react and trying to please other people. You have to reduce the noise. And that's the only way to do that, is to start focusing on yourself. Otherwise, every decision you make could be questionable.
Yeah. I love that idea of reducing the noise. I mean, that is so powerful because that's what it is a lot of the time, noise.
Yeah.
And for us to just be able to quiet that a little bit. Who's beneath the surface? Who is at the bottom of the iceberg? When you look beneath all that's going on at the surface, there's someone there who really needs to get to love and know herself again.
Yeah. And a lot of the time she's talking to you. We're just not listening. And we know as moms how we feel when we are literally yelling at our kids and they will not listen. That is what we are doing to ourselves every single day. So I just want us to listen to ourselves and start to build that trust relationship again, because you know what you want. You deep down, you know if you're in a good relationship, a good friendship, if you're in a good job. But you don't necessarily want to dig any deeper because the next step is scary. What you got to do next is scary. So a lot of us choose to just stay in a place of discomfort that we've lied to ourselves is actually comfortable.
Oh, I like that one. Gosh, yeah. We stay in a state of discomfort that we are lying to ourselves and saying it's a comfort zone. I love that. I love that, because I think that is true. A lot of times we think it's a comfort zone, but is it really? Wow, really deep. So your mission is to inspire women to embrace self-love and design lives that they love. How do you see your own story as a source of empowerment for women, particularly my audience of academic mamas? And what message would you like to share with them as they navigate the challenges of combining work and motherhood?
Yes, so it might be a bit controversial, so let me apologize ahead of time. But I want to release any woman who is doing something for someone else. If that happens to include your PhD, then, I'm just going to throw it out there. That
you didn't hear it here, but you did.
You're like, breaking news. You do not get that PhD if you don't want to. Even if you started, even if you put a lot of time into it, really get clear on your why. And if you really want it, then go for it without apology. Just go for it and create an environment for you to succeed. One of the principles in essentialism is to determine what habits and actions you need to do and to make that process as easy as possible for yourself. So if you get clear on that why, and the answer, I love a decision tree. The answer is no, I don't want to do this PhD. How can we make that path easy for you to get out of it and for you not to feel guilty? Do you need a community of women who've done it before to support you? Scholarly has a community, you know? Do
Yes.
you need, what if the decision tree says, yes, this is something that I want to do. I want to finish my PhD and I need help. Again, Scholarly Mamas has a community for you to come into to help you finish that PhD. I think that even though it is called Scholarly Mamas, it helps support women who are in a PhD do whatever she wants to do to make her life full.
So true.
It means that you have to figure out what is best for you. So don't think of the community of Scholarly Mamas as only women who are finishing their PhD. I have talked to Michelle enough to know that she is here to support women who are in their PhD journey. The destination, though, is up to you.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And it is true. I think that there's a couple of things I wanted to unpack there. So the first thing is that we have this idea that just because we have started something, and this could have been something that we started many, many, many years ago, that somehow we can't change our path. Like we cannot detract from that. And I actually think that that is one of our biggest hurdles, biggest blocks, because we feel like we're not allowed to evolve, we're not allowed to change. I mean, how many people, if you ask them about themselves 10 years ago, 5 years ago, how many people would say to you that they're the same person that they were and they wanted to pursue the exact same things that they started to pursue 5 or 10 years ago? Not many people would. And I think that we have this idea of expectations and sunken cost syndrome and all these things where we feel like, you know, if we started something, we're glued to it. Like it's our trajectory for life. And I think that we do need to be released from that and to realize that we are allowed to change course. We're allowed to change paths. We're allowed to walk away from things that no longer align with who we are and who we want to become. And also for those of us who want to pursue that path, who want to finish, for me, it's also about quality over quantity in the sense that I always say this, all success is not created equal. Like you have success where people have made enormous sacrifices and have given up so much to achieve something that perhaps they didn't even really want to achieve. Even if they did want to achieve it, at what cost, right? And so the idea is that if you are a scholarly mama and you do want to finish your PhD, that it's about finishing it well. And I call this purposeful success, not just success, but purposeful success. Because for me, that's about achieving the goal without sacrificing the things that matter to you, without changing who you are, or without being someone else other than who you are. And yeah, I think Scholarly Mamas is there to support mamas on doctoral journeys, even if you decide to change your path, even if you decide this is not for me anymore, where do I belong? You belong in Scholarly Mamas. We are here to promote wellness, wholeness. We are here to promote you just being empowered to live your best life, whatever that means, right? And so yeah, I wanted to, I know we've talked a lot about Scholarly Mamas, but I want to talk about Wellthy Mama, right?
I just love Scholarly Mamas so much.
I really want people to know, because I'm very biased in this. I love this brand. I love what it stands for, and I love what you're trying to achieve with it. And I just wanted, if you don't mind, for people to, you know, people may want to know more about the brand. They may want to get their hands on a journal. Let people know where they can get in touch with you. Are you on social media? Where can they find you?
Yes. So the question about if I'm on social media is a complicated one. So I have a love-hate relationship with Instagram. So I'm currently on Instagram, but that may not always be the case. I last year took like a 9-month break from Instagram. So, you can find me there now, but I think YouTube is my kind of permanent home. So I do send out a video every 2 weeks. I took a break around Christmas time, so that's what that kind of hiatus is. I'm big on breaks. I just don't want to be a hypocrite. So I cannot be out in the world telling people to relax, take breaks, take naps. And I am just exhausted and tired and overwhelmed. I just don't want to be a hypocrite. That's it. That's a big deal.
So true.
I will take breaks. So if you want to be a part of my community, you can find me on YouTube. I also have a Substack where I write my newsletter every 2 weeks. And I send out journal prompts and just really daily reflections from my own life. So I share that as well. And, Instagram for right now, I love to write now, which is so crazy to say out loud. I love to write. So I share musings on Instagram along with other things that are just happening in my community, different workshops that I'm doing. And the journaling community that I have. So if you are not going to be upset with me for disappearing every so often, then feel free to follow me. And I would love to have you in my community.
Awesome. I'm going to leave all the links to Melissa's website, her Instagram, and her YouTube. I'll leave those in the show notes for you as well, so you can find her. Well, Melissa, honestly, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that your story will resonate with my amazing audience of mamas who are also navigating a challenging season in their lives, i.e. PhD motherhood. Just to say a couple of things, 2 things. One is that Melissa will be delivering one of our mama classes inside Scholarly Mamas, inside the collective, on journaling, self-love through journaling. And we're so looking forward to that. And also, I thought it would be really nice to end on a positive. So we started off by saying that you had this cancer diagnosis, which led you to this path of self-love and self-care. Do you want to update people just very briefly and, surface level, but update them on how that's going for you?
Yes, I am cancer-free and
Yay!
Loving every moment of life. I'm practicing gratitude. I'm regularly journaling. I am trying to work out more. Pray for me, guys. It's a struggle. But I started a small accountability group. So there's 3 other women that we meet once a week, and we just hold each other accountable for the things that we're trying to do. One person's trying to stop scrolling on social media in the morning. I'm trying to work out more. So, that's kind of what I'm doing now, and I'm doing really well. I'm loving my life, and I don't make really $1 more than what I was making before. So I know it's not the money, right? Like I know that true fulfillment, true joy really comes from within. So, that's what I want to leave women with. It's you get to decide. What do they say in the Essentialism book? It's you get to decide who actually is going to prioritize your day.
Yeah.
By not choosing, you are really choosing to give that power to someone else. So decide for yourself what you want to do. It's always up to you. But I hope that you choose yourself. I really do. You're worth it. So good, Melissa. So good. Thank you so much for reminding us of the importance of self-love and why we need to focus on becoming rich in what matters. I'm so happy that you came on this show today. This has made my whole month. Like this month, I thought we would focus on self-love because, Valentine's is always love themed. And I thought it'll be a really nice time to bring some awareness to the importance of us as mamas loving ourselves and just being more intentional about that. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your light. And thank you for also sharing that through the journal. And I will, again, like I said, I'll leave all the links in the show notes. So thank you so much for coming, Melissa. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, please head over to mrsmummyphd.com or scholarlymamas.com. If you want to do your PhD well without sacrificing yourself or those you love dearest, then you need your hands on my free training called the PhD with Purpose Webinar. When you join us inside Scholarly Mamas Explore, you'll get access to this free training and so much more. Remember, Mama, these are our journeys of becoming.